Good day, dear students, and welcome back to our English class. In today's class, we're going to be looking at one more newspaper report, and we have so far looked at three different kinds of newspaper report. The first one was about a mining accident. The second one was about the budget session. The third one was about a letter to the editor on highway development and about prevention of accidents. And this one is about college students and something remarkable that they have done. Even if you look at newspapers today, you will see that some newspapers, I think it is the Times of not the Times of India. In fact, it is the Navin Times. They come up with a special page, and it doesn't happen every single day, but it comes up maybe once in a week, where they talk only about college students, different colleges, and the kinds of activities that the students have been engaged in. Any kind of camps or any kind of workshops that college has conducted, so that part will come in the newspaper. So in this report today, we have something similar. We've got students and something remarkable that these students have done. So let's quickly get started. We have here, our title says NCC cadets show the way. So this title is not very revealing. We just know that it is in NCC cadets here, but what is it that they've done is not very clear. So we need to read on to understand what is it that is so remarkable that it's appeared in the newspapers. Right, so let's start. It says Pune, the place where the incident takes place. Perched on a hilltop 900 feet above sea level at Vadgaon, 45 kilometers from here, 400 cadets of 36th Maharashtra Battalion (NCC) successfully carried out Operation Water Harvest by constructing 3 percolation tanks and several hundred trenches that promise to increase the availability of water to the nearby villages after the onset of the monsoon next year. Now, a lot of details in there, right? The first thing we are told is perched on a hilltop 900 feet above sea level at Vadgaon, 400 kilometers from here. Perched is usually a word used with a bird. It simply means to take position on top of something. Basically, taking position on top of something is perched, right? So we're talking about the camp. The NCC camp is perched and it is on top of a hill. It's taken position on top of a hill. It is set up on top of a hill, and this hill is so high, it is 900 feet above sea level at Vadgaon. Vadgaon is a place in Maharashtra, right? So at Vadgaon, 45 kilometers from here. They're talking about 45 kilometers from here in the sense Pune, because the report is written in Pune. Alright, so this particular camp is situated 45 kilometers from Pune. And who are the actors of this particular story? We have 400 cadets of 36 Maharashtra Battalion (NCC). Okay, 400 cadets, we are talking about NCC cadets, and 36 Maharashtra Battalion. Battalion simply means unit. So the Maharashtra unit of the NCC, okay, successfully carried out Operation Water Harvest by constructing 3 percolation tanks. Now, their mission or their project was called Operation Water Harvest. And under that project, what did all these cadets do? They constructed 3 percolation tanks. And I want you to have a look at what a percolation tank means. Yeah, so if you look at this picture, you see that a percolation tank is basically an earthen kind of a pond that is created. Okay, so it's dug out. This, if you look at it, there is just mud all over this place and there is water collected. Now, if you look at this opening, it's actually, there should be a trench somewhere here. Okay, a trench is like a narrow kind of a ditch, okay, that allows water to flow. Okay, so we're really looking at seasons like the monsoons, okay, where water gets collected in different places, okay, and that water, they should channelize that water. They should create these trenches or dig up these trenches and allow that water through those trenches to enter into this percolation tank. It's called a percolation tank, but it's like a pond where they just, and if you look at the water, it's actually dirty water, and water that is collected from off the surface. It's not clean water. But what will happen is that it will settle here. This area is again a very the mud here is very soft, right? So it will settle here, and it will and after some time the land will absorb the water. That means this water will dry out, okay, and it will go deeper down and recharge the water table, the ground water level, the groundwater table that we have. Okay, so it will just recharge the underground water basically that we have, right? So that is a percolation tank, and it is mostly used in the monsoon season, because in the monsoon season, especially in India, we have a lot of water, and that water gets wasted, right? So instead of getting that water wasted and getting dirty also, you make these trenches, allow that water to flow into this area, this percolation tank, and that water will recharge the groundwater level. Okay, so that is a percolation tank, and that is what these NCC cadets have constructed. Okay, and they've constructed three of them, three percolation tank, and several hundred trenches, so hundreds of different trenches from different areas where we feel that water gets collected. They've dug up these trenches, these narrow trench. I will give you an example. It is something so narrow, it's like a it's pretty much like a gutter that we have, but it is a little wider than that, and it can be a little deeper. Okay, and a gutter, maybe it will have cement, but a trench is entirely of mud. You just dig it out. Okay, so that is a trench. I can send you a picture a little later of a trench, but that is what a percolation tank looks like. Now, they have constructed three of these percolation tanks and hundreds of trenches. So imagine how much of work these people have done. And what is the benefit of constructing these two? That promise. So construction of the percolation tanks and several hundred trenches promise to increase the availability of water to the nearby villages after the onset of the monsoons next year. So this project is being conducted somewhere in the previous year, for example in 2020. Okay, but they are making preparations for 2021, the next year. Okay, after the monsoons, because in the monsoons they will get the extra water, and that extra water will be stored with the help of the trenches in the percolation tanks, and the groundwater level will increase, and that way they can pump it, and they can have more water. Okay, so that is the aim. Now, this is what it says. Next paragraph. First of its kind in the country, this environment project marks a major shift from NCC's earlier focus on military training to social services. Now, if you know this, you know that there is something called as NCC and there is something called as NSS. Okay, so NCC is usually deals with military training. Okay, you've seen these students, they either have military uniform or they have navy uniform, and they go around marching, and they learn how to use a gun and different actually it's all about physical strength and energy and stamina and all those aspects of it. That is what NCC usually does. Okay, and we have something called as the National Service Schemes, that is the NSS, and they deal with social services. They deal with cleaning up areas, going about, see, this kind of work like constructing percolation tanks. That is a very social thing, helping people out basically. So that is what NSS does. NCC usually never does it, but in this particular report, the reason why the NCC cadets have been praised so much is that for the first time they have done something social. Okay, although that is not what they usually do. Their usual focus is always on training and stamina and exercise and all kinds of outdoor activities like that, right? So this is something remarkable about them. That first time they have looked at something social. Then it goes on to say, this maiden social project located in the hills adjoining the village Ahirwade in Vadgaon Taluka was part of a 12-day annual training camp attended by students of 10 city colleges and technical institutions. So this maiden simply means the first, because I told you they always deal with military training. They don't deal with social services. So this first social project located in the hills adjoining the village Ahirwadi. So this camp is on the hills. Okay, adjoining means next to the village Ahirwadi. Okay, that is the location of the camp. It is somewhere in the hills next to the Ahirwadi village in Vadgaon Taluka. So this particular camp and this particular project was part of a 12-day annual training camp So it was a 12-day long annual training camp, and it was attended by students of 10 city colleges and technical institutions. So these are all college students, and 10 city colleges. We're talking about probably Pune city and technical institutions. So there are a total of 400 cadets, but they have come from 10 city colleges and technical institutions for a 12-day camp. All right. So that is the background. That is who they are and why they are there. Right. Now, a little more about the work they did. It says here Operation Water Harvest is an adaptation of the popular watershed management concept, which visualizes the arrest of water runoff through trenches and percolation tanks. So, the name of the project is Operation Water Harvest. And what is this Operation Water Harvest? It is basically an adaptation of the popular watershed management. It is basically a slightly different form of the famous watershed management system. Watershed management basically is all about saving water, mostly rainwater, so that we can store it for other seasons, other times of the year. Okay, because we have so much of rainwater and it goes waste. So treating that water, saving that water in the first place, treating it and using it for your home or any other needs that you have. Right, so Operation Water Harvest is a type of watershed management concept which visualizes, that means it sees the arrest of water runoff through trenches and percolation. So their main focus is to arrest, or here you can say to collect, okay, water runoff, that is water that is got through the rain, okay, that is just on the surface, water that gets collected on the rain because of the rain. Collect that water. And how do they collect the water? With the help of trenches and percolation tank. Trench will bring the water and it will ultimately empty it in the percolation tank. Okay, now the percolation tanks and trenches will result in accumulation of water on the hilltop. Okay, so or with the help of the percolation tanks and the trenches, they will accumulate a lot of water on the hilltop, and the benefits will trickle down to the villages in the form of higher water table levels during the monsoons. Now, if you even look at this picture here, see how much of water is collected here. It also depends on how deep this particular percolation tank is. Okay, so all this water doesn't get wasted. It gets it goes to the it goes underground. It goes and it recharges the water table underground, right? So imagine that is just one percolation tank. There are 3 percolation tanks in this particular area. So imagine how much of water goes down underground, okay, and increases the water table. So this is the aim here. They're just trying to accumulate the water that is collected, especially during the monsoon seasons, okay, and with the help of the percolation tank in the trenches. And when the water gets absorbed by the earth, okay, it will increase the water table level during the monsoon season. Now you will ask me, okay, we're increasing the water levels during the monsoon seasons, but what is the point? The point is, when you increase the water level during the 3 solid monsoon seasons that we have in India, in the rest of the time, once monsoons is over, okay, the what see 3 months is a lot of time, okay. So imagine 3 months, every single day water gets collected, water gets filtered in that percolation tank, okay. So after 3 months, the level of underground water level, or the level of the water table, will also increase, because it is 3 full months of collecting water, storing it, recharging the water table. So what it means is that till next monsoons we will have enough of water to use. We can pump the underground water, okay, and use that for our for our needs, whatever that we have, okay. So 3 months is a good enough time, and we have lot of rains in India, right? So they are making use of that, okay. So during the monsoons, the aim is just to collect the water. The real usage will come after the monsoons are over, okay. Now, the task of constructing these earthen tanks means made of mud, because you've seen the picture there, it is dug out, okay, there's no cement or anything put, it is just a normal, a very simple system. You just dig out the the mud and you create these tanks and these trenches. So the task of constructing these earthen tanks and trenches has been very laborious and cumbersome, but due to the high morale of the cadets, their commitment to do something for the village, they have been able to achieve this Herculean task. A few words here. Now it says here, earthen tanks and trenches have been very laborious. Laborious means it's a lot of efforts, and this we know. If you try to dig something, it is not very easy. You have to really put in a lot of effort, and then if they have built hundreds of trenches and three big percolation tanks, that means they have had to spend a lot of time and a lot of energy. Okay, in the sun they've been digging and digging, and it's never easy to dig. Please understand this. All right. So it's been very tiresome, lots of work, lots of effort, lots of energy required, and very cumbersome. Cumbersome means very difficult. Okay. But due to the high morale simply means the state of the spirit. Okay, these students were so determined that they're going to help these villages around the hills, that they said, even if it is so difficult and even if we get tired, we're going to continue doing it. We're going to continue digging. We're going to continue helping them, because we have to make Operation Water Harvest a success. So that was their spirit, that was their determination, that was their morale, that faith that they're going to do it and they're going to help these people, right? So due to that high morale of the cadets and their commitment, their promise, their determination to do something for the village, they have been able to achieve this Herculean task. Herculean means a major, huge task. Okay, so if you see, this is a very beautiful report, and it highlights a very remarkable contribution made by students to this village, and it's important also because, like we have seen here, it is the first time that NCC has focused its its activities in a social realm or a social area, uh, as opposed to the earlier case where they used to focus only on military training.